Hello, everybody. Welcome to session one of 13 steps of building a scalable business. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be diving into this concept a little bit deeper. Each week, we're going to cover two sections of the 13 weeks. So this is going to be a full 6 weeks. The last week, we'll cover the last three sections. So for today, we are going to cover really an outline of what the 13 steps to building a scalable business, what it is, and then we're going to cover the first two. We're going to cover researching your opportunity and creating your value proposition. Can you guys see my screen? Does it look good? Okay, perfect. All right. So 13 steps to building a scalable business. This concept really follows somewhat of the agent action plan, but it takes it a little bit deeper, and it really hones in on your business and how to, one, build that business, but it's also building that structure of your business. So in our case, it's real estate, right? So building a scalable business is not just selling more homes or having more property management clients. Yes, that's where you're going to make your money. But it's you want to create leverage in your business. And that leverage, how you create that leverage is going to be these 13 steps. So the 13 steps, I'm just going to read them to you. It's research your opportunity. Step 2 is create your value proposition. Step 3 is define your mission, vision, and beliefs. Step 4 is build your product or your offering map. 5 is building a pro forma. Step 6 is building your business plan. It's a shorter business plan. It's a 6 to 12-month business plan. Step 7, we go into a question mind. Step 8 is building an opportunity map. Step 9 is identifying key leadership roles. Step 10 is building a calendar of training and coaching. Step 11 is building systems, document and take massive action. Step 12 is marketing. And step 13 is repurpose and repackage. So what you do, and what I was saying earlier is that these 13 steps, it's not a one and done, right? It's something that you have to address with your business on an ongoing basis, whether it's annually, quarterly, and really what we want it to be is building these steps in your business so that it becomes part of your business, not just selling homes, but how to use selling homes and, like I said, creating that leverage so that it gives you an opportunity to build a scalable business over the long term. So what we're going to cover today is step 1 and 2. So step 1 is research your opportunity, and step 2 is creating your value proposition. A lot of this is going to look familiar because you guys are business owners, right? You've done this before, but it takes it in a little bit of a different approach. So step 1, researching your opportunity. So, one of the reasons why we want to make sure that we do this on a regular basis is because the market changes, the climate changes. So, as an example, 2025 is probably in Phoenix, our real estate market is going to be very similar to 2024. But if you look back even 2023, 2022 COVID, right? That was absolutely nuts. And then coming out of COVID, what did the market look like? So where our real estate market was even 4 years ago is completely different than what it is today. Thank goodness, because we're all going nuts at that point in time. But you want to make sure that you revisit your business opportunity. Personal things in your life come up. Um, Maybe you want to grow your business. Maybe you want to focus in a different market niche. Maybe you want to expand. Maybe you want to downsize. So that's why it's always a good idea to revisit this on a regular basis. So going through and researching your opportunity, and I would like for all of you to go through these questions and answer these questions. Don't think of this as an exercise that you have to finish in the next week. This 13 steps to a scalable business, some of it does build on each other, but they're kind of meant to be mutually exclusive. So really take time to think about where your business is today and where you want it to go. So, in Devin, I actually thought about you with this first question. So, what neighborhood, city, subdivision, or area of focus that you would like to concentrate in? You have said specifically that you want to focus in Santan Valley, and you have specific reasons why you want to focus your business there. Check. You have answered this question. And that's how you want to focus your business. And that's a decision that you've come to for your business. Other areas, what aspects of client service should be raised well above the industry standard? We had a conversation earlier about just agents and some of agents that have been in the industry for 30 years. They're getting a little what's the word? A little jaded about kind of where the industry is going. So if you think about your business, where you want to be going, realizing that this is a relationship-based business, what are those aspects of client service that you would want to raise the bar well above that our industry standard and kind of where we're at? And taking that even a step further, which aspects of client service should be created that no one else is offering? Is there an untapped niche? I'll give you an example of potentially kind of I see based on where new home builds are happening, there are multi-generational homes that are being built. So in Phoenix, our homes are not built for multi-generations. There are other parts of the country that do, and other parts of the world that really focus on multi-generational housing. We have so many not so many, but we have new home builders. And if you watch new home builders, they really kind of decide where the housing market trends are going. There's quite a few of these multi-generational homes that are being built. So it's the younger generation, right? You have mom and dad, the nucleus, mom and dad, 2.5 children. Well, you might also be dealing with aging parents, right? And those generations are coming together. And now homes are being built for that population of people. So that's just an example. It's like, could you have a niche where you're focusing on just, it could be senior living or, populations 55 and older, but is it also kind of this multi-generational housing? So that's just an example, but the idea is to think about how client service could be created in a niche where maybe nobody else is offering. The next couple of questions really kind of talk about kind of competition and where our agents are. Agents have competed on should be eliminated or ignored. So I don't know that I can really think of I think maybe kind of where we're at now with the competition is around compensation. We've really been scrutinized over the past 6 months about compensation and who's paying for what, and just the association, NAR's rules, our own state association forms, things like that. So it's almost like we have a new level of competition with agents by putting compensation essentially in the contract. What are the current industry assumptions that you're operating with that need to be questioned or challenged? Kind of tapping into a conversation we had a little bit earlier. But are we in a buyer's market? Are we in a seller's market? Here in the Phoenix metro area, it's really kind of been split by cities, right? We have some cities that are in a seller's market, some cities that are in a buyer's market. And really understanding what that means. And Devin, you really hit the nail on the head. It's like, okay, wait a minute. What do loan programs, how can we learn more about loan programs that would be applicable for the type of market that we're in, whether it's a seller's market or a buyer's market. But that's really kind of what this question is gearing you towards and wants you to think about, is just some industry assumptions, things that maybe need to challenge the status quo, if you will. Where are you currently imitating instead of innovating because you're so concerned about staying competitive? So this question is interesting because are you really following kind of what agents are doing and kind of following the lead of other agents? Or are you being more innovative in your approach of working with buyers or sellers? Not only with working with buyers or sellers, but also in your marketing. So an example, if you're on social media and you use social media as part of your lead generating, are you doing videos like what other agents are doing? Or are you being innovative and maybe even being educational about neighborhoods in the Phoenix market or real estate trends? Or are you following that other agent who's sitting on the kitchen counter eating bonbons in a new build? I don't know. I'm making it up. I didn't really see that. But the idea here is, are you being complacent and kind of following the trends of what other agents are doing? Or are you thinking more innovatively and being more innovative in your business? What is the singular challenge, issue, or niche that you provide a solution for? What is the solution that you provide? So this might be, and this is really kind of, all of these questions are really kind of, what's your market? What's your niche? And how can you narrow it down? Devin, I'll use you as an example again. So focusing on Santan Valley, what is the challenge, issue, or the niche specifically that you can provide a solution for? So one of the things that we had talked about is vendor partners, partnering with vendor partners specifically in Santan Valley how you can partner together and you could help them grow their business and vice versa. How can they help you grow your business? Who are your direct and indirect competitors? So this is an interesting question because yes, real estate is a competitive market. We have, and it depends on the market, right? We have, maybe we're competing for a listing. Um, if we have a relationship-based business or a referral-based business, maybe we don't have to so much compete for our listings. But who would you consider your competitors? Jamie's case, would it be other property management companies or, um, you know, things, other agents? Are they your competitors? Um, and it really comes down to like knowing your landscape, right? And are you targeting your marketing efforts towards a highly saturated agent area? I'll give you an example. 85254. It's considered the magic zip code in Scottsdale, right? Every agent in Scottsdale wants to corner that market. So what does that create? That just creates an abundance, right? You've got so many agents trying to target in that particular area that there's no specialist. Um, so just evaluating your niches and who's your biggest competition in that area. Or do you have competitors? Um, who do you enjoy working with the most? And this is more of a question from a client standpoint. So, is it first time home buyers? Is it a senior community? Um, is it homeowners that own two-story homes or condominiums? Is it investors? Um, an example in the conversation that Jamie and I have had about property management is, do we really want to take on private owner clients? So an example is somebody who owns their home. They may need to relocate to another city for employment opportunities. They don't want to sell their home in the Phoenix area. They want to list it for rent and they want to have a tenant. At some point, they're going to come back. So you still have those individuals still have, that's my house. I lived in that house. I created memories in that house versus an investor. An investor does not have an emotional tie to that property. That is their bread and butter. That is their business. It's much more of a business transaction. So, who do we enjoy working with most in a property management situation? Our investors, just because of that reason. And that's an example. The idea behind thinking about this question in your business is you don't have to say yes to everybody. It's okay to say no. If there is somebody that you just don't jive with, you don't have the same values, you just don't think it's going to be a great working relationship, you don't have to work with everybody. You have referral partners that you could very easily refer that person out to, still get a little bit of a referral compensation from that. And you don't really have to work with that particular individual. And I'm using that as an example, but um, maybe you focus more on first-time home buyers and you have somebody who's a senior and is looking for a 55 plus community. Maybe you refer that out to somebody who's more specialized in that type of community. I just did the next question, not realizing that I answered that question. But the flip, who do you not enjoy working with? How can you design uncontested experiences for your desired clients and make competitors irrelevant? So all of the questions up above, you've narrowed down your niche, who your competitors are, who you want to work with. Now, how can you design your client experience to make it so different than anybody else that they're absolutely going to work with you? Um, and that's really where, and this kind of will take us into the value proposition, which we're going to get into next. How can you obtain extraordinary revenue while making competitors irrelevant? This is a tough question, and you really have to dig deep. Think about your why. Think about how you can put the dollars and cents to your competition, to your business, and how you can make yourself stand out, what your value proposition is, and how can you maximize your revenue from that. We made it through all of those questions. Does anybody have any questions about anything that we just went over? Nope. Okay. If not, I'm going to tie that all into establishing your value proposition. So step 2. So that was 50,000 foot level. Now you're coming down even further, right? So who are you looking to serve and what problems are you looking to solve? From that, how can you solve those problems and why? That's a big one, is why. So you're narrowing this exercise is creating your ideal client avatar. Who is your dream client? And it could be, some people name their avatars, right? My avatar is Silly Billy. It's not, but I'm just making it up. Who is your dream client? Is there a real person that would come to mind of who your ideal client would be? What's their personality? What are their relationships like? What age and income range do they fall into? Do they want to live in a specific location, niche, or local market? So think of a golfer, right? There are agents who focus their business specifically on the golf community and the golf market. It might be 55 plus. It might be, so the agents that we just brought on board, Kim, Jerome, and Tatum, their business is focused on first responders, mainly firefighters. So it's a particular occupation, if you will. What are their goals? Not only their real estate goals, but what are their personal goals? What are their professional goals? What do they hold true to their heart for their future? What are their pains? What are their challenges? Not only for real estate, but for, outside of real estate. A couple of weeks ago, we kind of talked about the art of asking great questions. And we're talking about being in a buyer presentation or a listing presentation. You have to think beyond the real estate part of it, right? So yes, that is the ultimate goal, and that's what your agency duty, responsibility, fiduciary duty is. But to know these individuals as a whole, right? What are their goals? What are their pain points? And how, one, professionally, can you help resolve some of their pain challenges from a real estate standpoint? but also understanding, their goals and how real estate comes into those goals. Where do they congregate? What do they do for fun? What podcasts do they listen to? What blogs do they read? What books do they read? What do they do for fun? What is considered relaxing for them? I know it sounds kind of silly, but it's like, what does this have to do with real estate? But it really does help you focus on, if you know more about what your client's goals are, you understand what your goals are and how you can bring that together and how you can make real estate accomplish their goals, take away their pains and their challenges, and make their life as, as improve their life. And Devin, you just helped a first time home buyer. It's one of the most rewarding experiences that you can go through. But through working with them, you got to know them. You got to know very intimate details about them, their income, what their goals are, what their pains and challenges were. Buying a home, they were super nervous and had lots of questions. And you were that calming force for them and made it possible for them. So that's those questions, they're all right in here. What are their pain points? What are their goals? It's you were able to answer these questions and get to know them without even realize what you were doing it, but you were doing it, and that made your job a lot easier because you knew how you could help them, one, with their real estate goals, and two, help them make it just a painless process as you could. And that really helps you define your value proposition and how you can narrow down your niche and serve your clients in the best way possible. Next week, we're going to go over, from that, you can define your mission, vision, and beliefs, and building your funnel and your touch system, if you will. So those are going to be the two areas that we're going to cover next week. But do you guys have any questions, any comments that you want to bring up about these two pieces that we discussed today?
This is good. It's good to go through this.
So when you went through this before, Devin, did you have what were some of your kind of takeaways from that? What did you learn by going through this exercise?
The ideal client was helpful. I just was free writing, answering a lot of these questions, and it generated more questions and more ideas. Like, I should look into this, and where would I go to look into this? So, with Santan Valley being my focus, and, working with families and moms and, people like me. And I'm like, well, where would I go if I was moving to Santan Valley? What would I want to know? And so it's like, okay, I need to go to like the Queen Creek Community Center, or, the town of Queen Creek, and like all the different libraries in the area and find out what's happening there. And the podcast one, I was like, oh, I just did a quick Google search, the top 10 podcasts for working moms. And just to get, just the titles of them, it was just like, okay, this is my ideal client. Just seeing the titles, like they just were perfectly titled.
What were some of the titles?
Let's see, Beyond Burnout, The Boss Mom, The Double Shift, totally booked, one bad mother, and all the. I was like, it's just thinking I could go, I could listen to a few episodes, maybe just read about the podcast to just get a better idea of who it is I'm targeting, like who I want to help, where these women are, what they need to juggle, and that's really it's working into my vision. Adulting is hard. It takes a village. Join my village. Let's
Yes,
help each other out, kind of a
I
thing.
you are well on your way. So
Yeah,
as we go through these 13 steps, we'll
yeah,
build that out and fine tune that. So
yeah, for sure.
awesome.
It's just very, it's just gassing me up. Going through these kinds of activities, it really gasses you up. It's like, okay, now I got to break it down into like actionable little bites of stuff to do. So
Yep, yep, awesome.
this is good. I love this 13-step thing. So excited for next week.
Jamie?
Well, what came to mind was, maybe I should target the 55 plus community, but do I necessarily want to congregate around funeral homes
Come on, Jamie.
to get more
55 is
business?
so active and young and vibrant.
But yeah, I mean, these are really good points, about, you know, mixing yourself into the environments of these people,
Mm-hmm.
that you might be interested in. So,
Yes.
and one thing too is, going back to you don't have to take everybody, and I'm learning that. It can be painful,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm learning that as well, and so that's definitely something in my future vision is, if I don't feel that I mesh with somebody real well in the beginning, that should be a red flag to me to really make a decision as to whether I want to pursue a business relationship with them or not.
Mhm. Yep, absolutely. Because sometimes the money that you make is not worth the aggravation that and the physical and mental, you know,
The toll that it takes on your
a
physical and mental
toll.
health. Yeah.
Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. Absolutely. So where there could be other agents that would be like, yeah, bring it on, I'll take them.
Mm-hmm.
So it not everybody's a fit for everybody, and
Yeah.
and that's okay. It's absolutely okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This is good.
Well, look forward to next week.
Yes.
More to come.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.